Have you been preyed on by a narcissist in online dating? Have you wondered how to cope? I will share some unique and helpful coping skills. I'm also going to share how I was preyed on in online dating and what happened. Narcissists particularly are dangerous in internet dating because they use the digital environment to create a perfect false persona, bypass traditional social filters, and quickly identify a victim's vulnerabilities to use against them. Hi, my name is Maria and I'm studying to become a life coach, specializing in narcissistic abuse and trauma recovery. I hope my videos are helpful, informative, and validating for you. Whether you are presently in or have been in a narcissistic abusive relationship, have a friend or family member that presently is or has been in a narcissistic abusive relationship, or maybe you have a friend or family member that is a narcissist, a boss, a colleague, a roommate. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. The risks that are common when dating a narcissist online: manipulation, idealization, or love bombing. Narcissists often overwhelm targets with excessive praise, constant messaging, and premature declarations of love, like calling you their soulmate, to create an intense dependency and dopamine rush. Calculated, inauthentic profiles. They may use heavily edited photos or exaggerated resumes of achievement to appear more desirable and successful than they truly are. Mirroring for seduction. They often study your profile to mimic your interests and personality, hobbies, and values, appearing as a custom-made partner for hiding their true lack of self. Digital control and boundary pushing. They may pressure you to move off dating platforms prematurely, demand constant replies, or become angry if you do not immediately reciprocate their attention. I found the constant communication to be very true in my relationships. At one time, I thought that it was love. It is far from love. Quite bluntly, it's control. Information gathering. Narcissists use personal details to share online to identify vulnerabilities, which they later weaponize for manipulation. Antisocial dating behaviors or intermittent reinforcements. Narcissists frequently use tactics like ghosting, which is vanishing without explanation, breadcrumbing, which is giving small crumbs of attention to keep you hooked, and zombieing, which is returning after ghosting as if nothing happened to maintain control and superiority. This is done to keep the victim in a state of anxiety and desperate for their approval. It also can be very traumatizing for the victim. Cyber dating abuse. High levels of narcissism are linked to cyber stalking, harassment, and digital violence, such as monitoring your activity, demanding passwords, or sharing intimate photos without consent. Gaslighting via text. They may send contradictory or coded messages, then deny their meaning or blame the victim's oversensitivity to make them doubt their own perception of reality. Transactional relationships. They often view partners as supply, which is objects to provide admiration rather than equals, and may simultaneously communicate with multiple partners to ensure their ego is always fed. Triangulation. Narcissists use social media to create jealousy and competition. They may flirt with others publicly, post ambiguous content to make their partner feel insecure, or use flying monkeys, which is enablers to monitor or harass the victim. Retaliation and post-relationship abuse. Smear campaigns. After discard or breakup, they may launch a public character assassination, spreading lies or exaggerations online to isolate the victim from the support network. Cyberstalking and surveillance. They may use multiple anonymous accounts to monitor an ex-partner's activity, hack into accounts, or install spyware to track their location. Revenge content. In extreme cases, they may leak private photos or sensitive texts to inflict maximum damage and reestablish control. Are you currently noticing any of these red flags, such as someone moving the relationship too fast or reacting poorly to your boundaries? Let me know in the comments below. Narcissists use the internet as a tool to gain narcissistic supply, which is the attention and validation they crave. By exploiting the relative anonymity and constant connectivity of digital platforms, their online predatory tactics typically follow a cycle of gaining control, manipulating emotions, and pushing those who defy them. Safety and recovery resources. If you are experiencing online harassment or abuse, consider these steps. Set all social media profiles to private and disable location sharing. Block the narcissist across all platforms, including business pages and professional networks. Document everything. Keep a record of all abusive communications as they may be necessary for legal protection or reporting. Consult a narcissistic abuse and trauma-informed therapist. Do you need help identifying specific red flags and their current online interaction, or are you looking for detailed steps to secure your digital privacy? Dealing with the impact of interactions with someone exhibiting narcissistic traits, especially in the context of internet dating, can be challenging. Here are some strategies that focus on protecting your well-being. Focus on immediate disengagement. If you notice patterns of behavior that are concerning, such as manipulation, gaslighting, or disregard for your boundaries, prioritize your safety and emotional health by disengaging quickly. This can feel unusual, as you might feel an urge to understand or fix the situation, but creating distance is crucial. Identify your patterns. Reflect on what might have initially drawn you to the dynamic. Understanding these types of connections that have been unhealthy in the past can help you recognize similar patterns in the future. Consider focusing on individuals who demonstrate constant kindness, respect, and open communication. Listen to your instincts. Pay close attention to how interactions make you feel physically and emotionally. If you feel constantly drained, anxious, or uneasy after communicating with someone online, consider those feelings as important signals, even if their words seem appealing. Does the person keep you up all hours of the night in chats or disrespect your boundaries in other ways? These are signs of them not respecting you. Document and review. If it is helpful for your processing and understanding, you can create a private online interactions to identify patterns and communication and behavior. This can help you see the reality of the situation more clearly. Enhance digital boundaries. Beyond standard blocking, consider reviewing your social media privacy settings. Limit who can see your information and who can contact you. Create a more controlled online environment. Prioritize your needs. In challenging relationship dynamics, your own needs can often be overlooked. Make a conscious effort to focus on your well-being. This might involve taking breaks from dating apps, spending time with supportive friends or family, or engaging in activities you enjoy. Considering these approaches can help you navigate online dating while protecting your emotional health and setting healthy boundaries. If you like my video and find it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. This really helps my channel grow. Have you felt like you've been victimized in online dating with a narcissist? Let me know in the comments below. I would really like to hear your stories. And let me know if there are any other topics that you would like me to talk about in future videos in the comments below as well. Recovering from the destruction caused by a narcissist in an online dating scenario requires unique strategies that address both the psychological manipulation and the digital nature of the abuse. Key approaches include cool processing to break trauma bonds, create validation journal to counteract gaslighting, and specialized techniques to address rather than manage the trauma. Here are unique targeted coping strategies for the aftermath. Digital dissection journaling. Create a private digital or physical file listing every red flag and cruel action. When hoovering, which is the attempts to pull you back in, occurs or you miss them, read this list that disrupts the rose-colored memories or love bombing. If you must interact, become boring and uninteresting. Give one-word neutral responses to prevent giving them the emotional reaction they crave. Beyond blocking, delete all old chat threads, emails, and photos to remove the temptation to reread the relationship, which reinforces the trauma bond. Engage in specific exercises designed to help the body release the deep muscular patterns of stress and trauma. I highly recommend the book, The Body Keeps the Score. There is a link to order it on Amazon below in the comments and the description. Somatic experiencing therapy helps release stored trauma physically, particularly useful if you experience chronic fatigue or panic attacks, which are common after narcissistic abuse. Use techniques like putting cold water on your wrist or face, or holding a heavy object such as a weighted blanket or smooth stone to anchor yourself in the present when flashbacks occur. Instead of reliving the pain, analyze it from a distance. Ask, why did I feel this way, rather than what was I feeling. This transforms you from a victim to an observer. When self-doubt or negative thoughts arise, identify if it is your voice or the internalized voice of the narcissist telling you that you are too sensitive or broken. Write a detailed letter to the narcissist containing all your anger and hurt, but do not send it, burn it, or tear it up symbolically to release the emotions. Acknowledge the part of you that was hurt and actively nurture your own needs, providing the validation you were looking for from the narcissist. Identify rituals you had with the narcissist, like, for example, good morning texts or Friday night calls, and consciously replace them with new self-nurturing habits to avoid the trigger of their absence. Instead of a bucket list, create a list of things you will never tolerate again based on the red flags you missed. I finally did this after 5 narcissistic relationships. Don't beat yourself up if it takes you a while to figure it out, like me. Specifically seek therapists who understand narcissistic personality disorder abuse rather than general counselors who may not recognize the specific dynamics of gaslighting and trauma bonding. I actually went to a generalized counselor, and the person made the trauma much worse for me. So it is very important to find someone who specializes in NPD abuse and trauma. In the immediate aftermath, avoid taking advice from friends who haven't experienced NPD abuse, as they may unintentionally victim blame or underestimate the manipulation. I actually had a friend tell me that by me staying away from the places that the narcissist frequented, I was still letting him control me. This is not being controlled by the narcissist. It is setting firm boundaries and protecting yourself from their manipulation tactics. Join groups like online communities or specialized apps to share experiences with others who truly understand trauma bonds and narcissistic chaos. It is also good to join a support group for trauma or narcissistic abuse. I did that and it profoundly helped me. Now I will share my personal story. I found this guy online dating where he was everything I dreamed of and totally my type. I felt completely in love with him. I went to meet him a few times. I had wonderful times with him. Then I spent the weekend with him and he hurt me deeply. He did a lot to violate my boundaries. 2 days later, after I was home, he broke up with me. I found out that he had someone else in his life at the time. I was deeply wounded and hurt for 5 months. After those 5 months, I found the ultimate narcissist psychopath. But at the beginning, I forgot all my pain. Then I quickly found out that he was worse and more abusive than the last one. That started the chain of events of me getting narcissist after narcissist. A few years ago, I said enough is enough, and I spent a lot of money on getting myself healed and thousands of hours educating myself on narcissism. I watched YouTube channels talk about narcissism, and it profoundly helped me. This is why I have my YouTube channel on narcissistic abuse and trauma recovery. I want to help others like I was helped. It also helps me feel empowered to get my story out and knowledge about narcissistic abuse and trauma. I have videos on trauma responses and managing them, reclaiming yourself, complex trauma, emotional coping. Narcissistic abuse does not define you. Grief, gaslighting, a 3-part series on infidelity and manipulation. The links are below in the description and comments. Do you feel you were manipulated in online dating with a narcissist? Watch my video on manipulation. I will see you in that video.